mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, no, this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Well, looks like we are live whether I like it or not. So, hopefully you guys had a great weekend, a long holiday. I've still got a few buttons I need to push over here. We got some people calling in saying they're first already. I know who you are. Let's see here, live on that. I got to push that button over there. There we go. And just go ahead and we'll slowly let the room fill up here a little bit. Hopefully, if somebody can give me a sound check, that'd be super duper fun and cool. Let's see here. Let me check the YouTube chat. We got some people popping into the YouTubes. Good to go. I think we're about there. Let's see here. We just took care of that announcement. Okay, good. All right. I think we're there. I think we're there. Good morning, West Virginia, Pappy. First on the old clappers. Thank you for the sound check. Let's see here. Okay, so I need to find something real quick. In content. That is not what I'm looking for. Live stream that I wasn't able to do. We're going to open that one. We're going to open that one. All right. Let's see what we got here. It is taking its time, and that is okay with me. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Let's see. All right, so they're on the Rumble side. Good Boy Skills first. Hicktown Homie number 2. Barb. Good morning, West Virginia Pappy, who's omnipresence. Leroy, Hicktown Honey, and Good Boy Scout. Looks like you guys are all saying hello and good morning. Over there on the YouTube side, Cool Coat is first. Catitude is number 2. Bob Pita, good morning. West Virginia Pappy is on all platforms. Cool Coat, good morning. And let's go ahead into the Super Secret live stream chat. Texas Patriot Biker was first, and thank you for the sound check. Ian, number 2, and Brad, good morning. All right, looks like we have about as many people as we're going to get. As usual, guys, if you could do me a favor, if you could knock out that like and subscribe button if you're new. If not, just hit the like button. That way we can let the algorithm know that we are here out in the open, alone and unafraid. That way we can get things started, draw some more people in, and go from there. All right, so let's see. So this weekend, basically, we just went up to the Richmond area, kind of hung out, We did one of those escape rooms. That was fun. We're able to escape clearly because I'm here now. Went and watched a movie, had a very nice dinner. We ate dinner at a place called the Halfway House, which is actually halfway between Richmond and damn, I can't remember the name of. No, it's not Portsmouth. But anyway, it's like pre-colonial, and you actually eat in their basement. It's very, very nice, but also very, very expensive. So I wouldn't recommend eating there every single day. Let's see. We've got, looks like BK made it. Good morning. Good to see you, guy. Good to see you. All right. So let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. There's going to be a change. If you have not noticed that my theme kind of changed this morning, I start to get this feeling that the prepper community is becoming numb to the realities that we live in, numb to the fact that the debt ceiling could fall through today. Williamsburg, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ian. I got you, bro. I could read between the lines. I appreciate you, though. And it's a little alarming. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about this. Is almost kind of a freebie thing. And this is almost kind of a walkthrough for my Patreons as well. If you're not a member of the Patreon, then you should probably go do something mean to yourself. I don't know. I can't think of a reason for anybody not to be a member of the Patreon. One of the first things that I tell them when they join is to download and do a few things. And I see a lot of them that don't actually do it. So one of the things that I wanted to show you guys today is actually something pretty simple. This is one of the documents right here that I'm going to push one of these buttons. Hopefully it all works just fine. I'm not sure. This one right here, that's not it. That's not it at all. That's nowhere close to it. There we go. I'm going to share this one, and that should have done that. Okay, so this is the Beginning Prepper Seminar. Okay, the Beginning Prepper Seminar is actually pretty simple. And it starts with, a prepper's mentality. Mental preparedness is one of the most overlooked parts of emergency preparedness. I would argue that it is the most important part of successful prepping. Now, why? Because if you're not mentally prepared for a disaster, it won't matter much how much gear or supply that you have stockpiled. You'll make bad decisions and you put yourself and your family in danger. I've been lucky to be one of those people that can be dropped into a situation and thrive. I don't think we need to see that. Let's just look here. Let's just close that out right there. I don't tell you that to toot my own horn. I'm telling you that because you can be the same way. A big part of mental preparedness is what is termed in the community as emergency conditioning. This involves imagining bad scenarios in detail. You can essentially trick your brain into thinking you've gone through the experience. It does happen. You'll be more likely to, if it does happen, you'll be more likely to respond correctly to the disaster. An example that I talk about is in this mental conditioning is how the Blue Angels will actually sit at a table before they fly and talk through their entire mission. Not like have a conversation, but actually do all of the radio call outs. They'll sit there with their eyes closed, their hands pretending that they're on stick and throttle, and they'll visualize what they're going through. Now, the reason they do that is because it trains their mind to know what the next step is, to think through what is actually going to happen, and at some point you have to come to terms, with your hardships and you'll face during, what I call a crisis event. But that's a conversation for another day. What is mental toughness? Mental toughness, it's tactics to improve mental preparedness. And one of the first things is conduct a threat assessment. One of the main principles of disaster preparing is that anything can happen, but you have to focus on the worst case scenarios that are likely to affect us. You can't prepare for everything, and it's just not practical to even try. You should focus on the most likely disasters of crisis events. For instance, if you live on the East Coast, it's going to be hurricanes, winter storms, and those are going to be your primary environmental threats. If you're in the Midwest, it's tornadoes and blizzards, and if you can see, hopefully you can see where I'm going with this, but what about economic collapse or martial law, or even that endemic thing that starts with a P that we can't talk about? Once you've identified threats, you can take some time to learn about what typically happens during these events. When you know what to expect, you'll be able to prepare better. Now, there's several of what they call the most likely disasters to plan for. It's hurricanes, floodings, earthquakes, electromagnetic pulse, which is a grid outage situation, war, and nuclear disasters. And examples of that is, I used to live in Hurricane Alley in North Carolina. Almost every track of NOAA's hurricane website goes straight over my old house. When the big ones would come, I would be out of power for at least 10 days. So I definitely had to have a plan. We had pre-made wooden shutters that we could put over our glass windows. We had battery banks that were fully charged. The upstairs tubs were filled with water. We had the water bladders. And we made sure that our generators were full of gas. And then there's lots of other things on the checklist, but I think you guys are kind of figuring out what we're talking about here. We also need to conduct a preparedness assessment, and we're going to go into that in detail today, because I think there are a lot of people that are dropping the ball in these particular scenarios, and I want to make sure that they're taken care of. Disaster prepping should always be done with a plan, until you know how prepared you really are, you won't be able to make a good plan. An example of that is, I've been camping and backpacking for a long time, and long before I ever even got into prepping. So when I did start prepping, I already had a lot of gear like water filters, sleeping bags, stoves, etc., and also a lot of essential survival knowledge. But most homes lack the storage of basic provisions like food and water. It's kind of scary. It's like, I want to be a prepper, but I've got no place to put my stuff. And a preparedness assessment involves going through the supplies in your home to see what you have. It also involves asking yourself questions like, how would your family get in contact if a disaster struck while you weren't home? That we're talking about a comm plan now, which guarantee most people don't have. Once you've done the preparedness assessment, you're going to be able to focus, on your weak areas. This is going to allow you to budget for your time and money more effectively. Another thing that we can talk about is making a prepping budget. There's no denying that disaster preparedness costs money. If you follow the standard advice on prepper websites, where they're trying to get you to buy the high-end gear, and then lots and lots, it's a lot of money is going to get spent. Even if you have a lot of money to spend, you shouldn't rush off and buy every cool piece of survival gear you see. Many of these items provide a false sense of security and don't actually help you with core survival needs. To make sure you're spending your money wisely, you will need to make a prepping budget. To do this, it's actually pretty simple. Do an assessment, which we just talked about. Make a list of things you need to buy. Determine which items are most important, like food and water. Budget money towards each priority. And lastly, decide how much money you want to invest each month towards prepping. It really does come down to that, and I think when we talk about the preparedness mindset, the last thing that we want to talk about is building your supply community. Building your survival community. A lot of popular preppers preach the mantra, never talk about your preps. The idea is that if your neighbors know about your prepping, they'll come knocking on your door during a crisis of Kent, aka SHTF. I don't agree with this approach. Rather, I believe that you should instead get your neighbors involved in prepping too. The more people around you who are prepared, the better off all of you will be. And it can be difficult to talk about disaster preparedness with friends and family. A lot of people still think of prepping as something that's crazy or extreme, but prepping has gone more mainstream lately. It's estimated that 45% are now preparing in some way. This is up from 20% just 2 years ago. And as crisis events become increasingly more common, people are waking up to the need to prepare. I have a saying that lone wolves die. Or a lone wolf is a dead wolf. The lone wolf dies without a pack. Many survivalists talk about how they're going to set off into the wilderness alone at the first sign of a disaster. Truthfully, your chances of survival are much better when you have a group of people to help. I won't be leaving my loved ones, my shelter, or my preps behind. Now, organizing a survival or prepper group or MAG isn't something that happens overnight. It may even take months or rely on a disaster, but this is something to start thinking about from outside or from the outset of prepping. Now, why did thought, guys? Because I don't think that anybody has done any of those things. I don't think that anybody has, let's check the chat and see if what people are talking about. Where are we at here? Hicktown Honey is here. Thank you, Hicktown Honey. I frequently think through different scenarios and make lists as to steps I should follow, grab, or do. Excellent. What's up, Jellyback? Good to see you. Categorize preps before, during, and after an event. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. And people are just saying hi. Nice. All right. So let's go on over to the Rumble side. Everybody was saying good morse. Is anybody else having freezing issues? Just Hicktown Honey, just refresh your browser. That's the only thing you can do. Or you can roll to YouTube. No, I'm having it too. Okay, I refreshed, but no luck. Gotcha, Hicktown. Yeah, I don't understand why it happens. Matter of fact, I just saw it's frozen on mine as well. But it appears to be working now that I have refreshed my browser. So let's see. Let's see here. Don't get lost in the gun store. Prep your Savage Lee. I don't recognize you. Thanks for coming in here. I'm going to pop that on there because I think it's relevant. So Savage Lee says, try to remember, don't get lost in the gun store. Prep for your pets too, and stack food first. Last always. Hopefully you will never need a gun. You always need food. Bye. Well, hopefully you didn't run off, man, because this is good advice. This is good advice. It's what we call the big blue arrow type of advice, where all of it's true, but it doesn't really pertain to what we're talking about at this very second. But we're going to get into some of that. And I thank you. But love your AR-15s. Yes, rub it. Let's see here. Viking Queen. Oh my God. I have not seen you in forever, girl. Hopefully everything is going well with you. Tiger 13. I guess this is Tigress. Tiger 13 us. Tigress. It's easy to talk about, but no one listens. Yeah, well, it's about perspective. It's about relating to somebody. There are ways that you can talk to people that will kind of shed light on what you're talking about. Maybe bring it into their little bubble. But you're right. It's a lot of people don't live. So let's see. Leroy says, Savage Lee provides some solid advice. Nice. That's why I moved. That's why Mike Downey says that's why I moved to Clapper. Gotcha. Large groups in Texas. Rick Roberts says, yeah, there are, but you got to be. I don't want to say you have to be careful. What I'm going to say is that you have to especially the larger groups, don't get sucked into the idea of being welcomed in. Okay. There are some things that happen in large groups, in small groups, that I'm not a fan of. One is, a probationary period is not a bad idea, but it's basically be a good boy and prove to us. And there are some things that are inherently wrong with that idea, but there's also things that are very good about the idea for the group. It's good for the group, but not good for the individual. So, and then there was something else I was going to tell you. Yeah, I would also be wary of larger groups because they tend to have a section within them. They tend to be very organized, and one of those sections tends to be security or patrolling or nothing but pew stick. They're kind of the tactical guys, and that's fine. I think that those skills are necessary, but they always forget that they think that they're the only shooters, and they always forget that everybody in a mag is a shooter. Everybody is security. So you just be wary is what I'll say about large groups. But Tiger 13 says, I'm a dude and in the USA. I gotcha. Gotcha, Tiger. I'll just call you Tiger instead of Tigress. Let's see here. Okay, so with that said, here's what I want. I want people to tell me if you're a Patreon, okay? I want you to tell me yes or no if you have taken the preparedness assessment that was provided to you when you joined. If you're not a Patreon, I'm going to ask you yes or no if you have done a preparedness assessment for yourself, on your family, for your, you know what I'm saying? Not the one that I provide. If you actually sat down and did it, or if you're just sitting there Looney Tunes in your lounge chair thinking about stuff. If you actually sat down, found some of these checklists that are online that can help you to assess your level of preparedness. Go ahead and do that now in the chats. I'm going to go ahead and sip a little bit of coffee while you do that. Rumble's going to be a little bit slow. I think Catitude is one of my Patreons, so I know that she did it. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy. No one's going to be mad at you if you didn't do it. Like John Honey says, yes, Patreon, no on the assessment. I'm put here raw dog in it, but I will. Okay. Rick says similar but different. I have looked at other lists and assessments, though. I got you. Yeah, the one that I prepare for my Patreons is very, very detailed. But no list is, excuse me, first yawn in the morning. Good stuff. No preparedness list, no preparedness assessment is perfect. But this one's really, really good. This one's really, really close. Barb says, no, don't cry, Barb. Just get your trash in one bag. I've lived it for the past 30 years. Oh, I see, Tiger. So you have no holes in your preparedness. Okay. Nice to know. I've looked at other lists and assessments, though. Got you. Okay, so it looks like the people that are going to comment have commented. And we can let's go from there. Let's go from Bob says, no, I'm a slacker. I gotta do it. Yes, Bob, stop being a slacker, Bob. Do it. It's not hard. That's right. It puts you there. You put you out there to be seen. Okay, so on the preparedness checklist, it's actually, like I said, it's pretty detailed. It asks some pretty hard questions. Um, I tell you what, let me make this bigger and we'll throw it up on the screen there. I mean, I don't know that you'll be able to read it, but I'm gonna throw it on the screen anyway. Let's get rid of that one and remove from source. And now we're gonna push the preparedness assessment. I know it's okay. I got thick skin. Well, I hope so. If you're a prepper, you better have thick skin. See if I can get that. See if I can get that a little bigger. Oh, I can. I can. Look at that. All right. So in the preparedness assessment, in the overall level of readiness in the past 12 months, what emergency and crisis did you face that you were prepared for? So go ahead and put that in the chat right now. What emergency or crises did you face in the last 12 months that you were prepared for? We know it's not hurricanes because that hasn't happened yet. My guess is power outages. I'm guessing, grid down, probably like in Texas. Let's see, flooding. I'm guessing. What's the other one that's systemic to that region? Well, we had that blizzard out there in California area. Let's see what else. Tornadoes. What's up, Grumpy Acres? Good to see you, bro. Let's see. 63 and pure blood. Okay, Tiger. Let's see here. I'm still waiting. Large dump of snow. Gotcha. Tornadoes, bad weather at work. Gotcha. Yeah, these are all valid. I deal with people like you do that think they have it all covered. No, don't think so. I deal with people like you do that think they have it all covered. No, don't think so. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, Tiger. Let's see. Okay, so basically there are natural disaster type things that people are dealing with, which is understandable. Let's see here. Burst water mains, had no water for a week. Not a big one, but I was prepared for it. Gotcha. Power and no heat. Rick got nice. Okay, so the reason we asked this question first is because it's good to see what you're ready for. Okay. That we go, there are some people that just kind of lose their damn minds when their cell phones don't work. They see that as a crisis event. They just don't know, let alone the power. If the internet goes out, people will lose their mind. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so here's the hard question. What events were you not prepared for? Go ahead and put that in the chat right now. Tell me what you weren't prepared for. Because that's really the indicator. Because that's like the instant hole finder in your preps. I'm going to close that while you're doing that. Boom. There we go. Get rid of that stupid yellow thing there. There we go. So Hicktown Honey says, luckily nothing. Yeah, that means nothing happened. That doesn't mean you weren't prepared for something. Let's see. Not prepared for my fourth heart attack. Yeah, well, Colt, why not? Massive fire that destroyed 320 square foot coop and killed over 300 chickens. Wow. But how could you be ready for that? That's pretty amazing, fire is probably one of the single most destructive elements on the planet, and it's sometimes you can't stop it. Losing that amount of chickens, that's a problem. Your water source was frozen. Well, you found a hole in that prep. Hopefully you found a way to solve that issue. I don't know what your particular water source situation is, and I won't even attempt to give you advice since I know you're a homesteader and you probably fixed this already or realized that something needed to be done, you know. Let's see here. Rick says he had water, but not enough. Okay, gotcha. Grumpy says he's working on it. Let's see here. The crash in Ohio made me refocus my preps. The crash in Ohio. I don't know. I'm at a loss, Hicktown. I don't know what the crash in Ohio, but the fact that it made you refocus your preps is a positive thing. It's a positive thing. And here's the thing, guys. You the train derailment. I got you. Yeah, that's definitely a wake up call. I remember. Okay, I remember our conversations about that. Yeah, thank you, Jellyback. I appreciate it. But the idea is to find the holes in your preps instead of, you know, it's not a matter of you thinking that you have everything under control. It's a matter of realizing that you likely don't. And in this particular case, in that particular question, it was about learning from your mistakes. Okay. And a mistake is not a bad thing. Okay. Learning from your errors, learning from your shortfalls. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Okay. I mean, nobody woke up one morning and said, you know, I wonder if my preps cover a train derailment with chemicals flying all over the place. No one woke up and said that, you know, not even the people who lived on the railway, you know, lived within 50 to 100 feet of the rail cars that fell over. None of those people woke up any morning prior to that and said, what if, you know, simply identifying those holes, putting it on paper, thinking it through, because I don't make, you know, it's like people, one of the things a lot of people don't like about me, you know, from the, I guess on the more personal side, is that people will see something that's wrong and I will see something that's wrong and I will think about solutions instead of instantly applying a solution that I will have to change after I've spent a lot of money on the first solution. So I have a tendency to actually stop and think about things for a period of time, gather suggestions, do research, and find out, you know, a perfect example of that is one of my most recent video is about a emergency sleeping bag that is worthy of recognition. That is actually going to be part of my bug out bag as I slowly refine it over making these 17 videos. You know, there's this guy. His YouTube moniker is Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart 13 or something like that. And this guy is extremely knowledgeable, and he writes paragraphs. Almost to an annoying level. I'd like, oh my God, I got to read this whole paragraph. It's like 27, you know, sentences. But you know, I give everybody I listen and I think about what they're saying. And he made some very logical recommendations. You know, for instance, that new sleeping bag that I got in my bug out bag, there's actually a better one of those. You know, if you're over 5'9", the juice might be worth the squeeze to pop out $95 for this thing. It's basically the same thing, but it's bigger. It's bigger, and I think it probably has better construction too. So it is one of my links that I'm reviewing right now in an effort to have better gear that is not expensive as a $300, $400, $500 sleeping bag, but would get me through 72 hours, no problem in most environments. So listening to people, realizing your shortfalls, putting them on paper, and identifying events that you're not prepared for. and then moving towards those things incrementally, little by little, piece by piece. Let's see here. Grumpy says, good thing about being prepared and having the right mindset. It turns most emergencies into inconveniences and inconveniences to minor hassles. Absolutely. It is a game changer to have the appropriate mindset for preparing. It gives you the ability to think through problems that you have either thought about already, you've already researched, and it also changes your mindset from a reactionary, into a proactionary mindset where, okay, well, that just broke. I guess I need that water line just froze and it cracked. I found the crack, but nothing's happening yet. All right, so I got to go get some PVC out of the shed. I got to make sure that I use the glue that will work, below zero, that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Because you're prepared, you already know what you have to do because you've thought about it, you've got the supplies, or you have a plan of action for when the time comes to do something about it, because maybe it's something you can't do anything about right now. For instance, a pipe freezing and bursting. Well, there's a very good chance that you won't be able to fix that pipe until things thaw out, until the temperature goes from the teens into the 30s, things like that. And that's just an example. So I think that's a great comment, Grumpy. That's a great comment. Let's see. What we got here? Oh, hey, JT's Jeep is here. Good to go. What's going on, bro? Let's see. Bad weather, lucky nothing. The crash in Ohio. Watching the news makes me feel super gappy about my preps. I got you. Let's see. You can't live off of what ifs. That's true. That's true, JT. But you can categorize them, and then you can prepare for them, and then you can not worry about them ever again because you have a plan. Let's see here. And as far as, I honestly, while I was on this little mini vacation, while I disappeared, I did not watch the news on the debt ceiling one time. I Googled it. But I was literally in don't give a crap land. I just literally did not care because I was so tired of them fighting and bickering back and forth that it's just become, it's like, okay, so, it's like my last live stream that I was able to do with you guys. I told you about an article that I had written that was actually an interview with Obama's number one money man. And he basically said, don't worry about it. There's more than enough money. We're not going to default. This is all politics. So, that took a little bit of the weight off. And, you guys probably saw me talking less about it because I'm not going to tell you to prepare for the debt, for us to default if I don't believe that there's a chance it's going to happen. I don't know, and it would be stupid not to think about it. But I'm not going to freak out about stuff that I don't want you to freak out about, Let's see here. Firelife made it. Good morning. Let's see here. And Rick. Rick recently got his ham license. Nice. Let's see here. Firelife says, can't live off what ifs, but if you have supplies, excuse me, you can alleviate the problem. Man, I think I need some B12 or something. I took all my vitamins, but it's for some reason I'm just not waking up. That's probably because I still want to be on vacation. If you want to be on vacation, put a yes in the chat. If you want to be on vacation, give me a thumbs up. That stuff's too funny, man. Let's see here. Let me close this little window out. We're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to hide that chat. There we go. Okay, let's see. We've reached the halfway mark, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep, because I don't think that we're going to say anything that the YouTubes aren't going to like. So we're just going to keep pushing this out right now. Looks like we've got 9 on YouTube and 1 on, I got my my loving follower out there on Twitch, which is super awesome. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and break this in here because there are categories. There are categories that we have to think about, these events fall into 4 categories: natural disasters, extreme weather, man-made disasters, and personal crisis, like job loss, injury, etc., things like that. So let's see. Let's ask some of the harder questions. How many days worth of extra food do you have on hand? Now remember that this is like a questionnaire meant for you to do not put that in the chat. Don't put that in the chat. This is meant for you to think about how much food do you have on hand. Okay. Do you have at least 30 days worth of extra food? Is your food storage kept in a dark, dry, cool location that is free of insects and rodents? Was there a time when you relied on your food storage in the past 12 months? Answer that question, guys. I'd like to know if you guys, was there a time? Oh, you know what? I don't know if I can highlight that. I don't know. I don't think I have. Let me try my highlighter. I don't know if it'll work in this. There we go. Boom. Did it work? Son of a bitch. I'm going to just do that one. Was there a time you relied on your food storage in the past 12 months? Let's see. Firelife says yes. Let's see here. A lower, but not enough. I think that's a typo. I don't know what that means, Firelife. Let's see here. Bob Peta says yes. Cool Coat says comms are my biggest hole. Let me throw that up on the screen there. Are my biggest hole, just not sure how to fix as I can't manage it all. And the comms piece involves time and training for others. Yeah, I mean, to an extent, but honestly, Colt, you can fix your comm problem with cards, okay? With pre-programmed radios and informational cards that you can basically give to that person that you love with it that has the frequencies and show them how to basically just put the frequency in. You know what I'm saying? Which it should already be pre-programmed, but it makes them feel better if they know how to do that. And then just teaching them how to talk on the radio, which you don't need a lot of, if it's an emergency situation, you don't need to be like them worrying about call signs, because it's just not a big thing. Let's see here. What we got here? Catitude says, yes, I have. BK says, yes, I have. Having that extra food, having those preps, those food preps, that's a game changer, man. That's a game changer. Let's see here. Firelife says, only rotating the supplies. Gotcha. Well, I mean, I eat my preps. I tell people all the time I eat my preps. And why? Because that's the way, once you have your preps and you are buying preps that you actually eat, or that you actually like, then you should be eating them. And the reason is because now you can start to rotate the money for the preps to keep the preps constant and give your preps longevity. At the same time, eating instead of buying food you eat and buying preps. You see what I'm saying? At a certain point, it all mixes in, and you'll actually be spending money to maintain your preparedness, spending less money to maintain your preparedness while you're spending the same amount of money to feed yourself. Let's see here. Firelife was supposed to have been a lot. I see. So you found out that you don't have enough food. So I guess what you probably needed to do is sit down and figure out how much food. Well, there's 3 ways to go at it, but let's just keep it simple for the case of this live stream. You probably should have sat down and figured out how much food you really need, because now you actually have a gauge. Because if you went through it, then you know how long it lasts. You see what I'm saying? And so then you just use that number to create your prep stockpile for the amount of time that you want it to last for. But yeah. Let's see. Grumpy says, tough one. We use stuff out of the deep pantry all the time. Ooh, excuse me. Not going to say we rely on it beyond just regular use. Yeah, I used to do the same thing too, Grumpy. The way I solved that problem was I put a clipboard, believe it or not. I just made like a list, or not a list, but like a blank spreadsheet. You know what I'm saying? Name of an item and how many I used. Okay. And then at the end of the week or the end of the month or the next time I did any major shopping, I would actually just take that list to the store with me, because then I knew what I needed to replace. If you ate it, you needed to replace it. It was really pretty simple. It's almost like a self-perpetuating shopping list. Let's see here. Let's see. Yes, same on food, rationale, use. Haley, good to see you, Haley. We have been for the last month because of layoffs and low work times. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The girlfriend always says, it's nice to have all that food, because if something goes wrong, if the economy crashes, if people lose their jobs, it's going to get pretty crazy at the shopping mall. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get pretty crazy at the local Piggly Wiggly, and it's good to not have to do that. And then if you have lost your job, then it's good to know that you can still fill your belly while doing your new job, which is finding a new job. Let's see. Load times, work times, RVs and boat factories are hurting. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I remember during the Obama years, I lived in an area that was basically a huge, like, big name boat manufacturing company, and they had to lay off 90% of their workers, and we're not talking about 10 or 15 people. So I completely understand what you're saying, Haley. Let's see here. Hicktown Honey says, when I don't want to go to the grocery store, I use it here and there. That's okay. That's okay. Barb, you'll be all right, Barb. You just get the checklist. Let's see. I eat what Hicktown says. I eat what we stock regularly for rotation purposes, but sometimes I wait until later to replenish it because I didn't want to go to the store. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the reasons that I create that list. That way, if I use something, then I know. And it's common too, like, hey, maybe I need a can of corn for supper, or a can of green beans, or you know what I'm saying? And I've already done that several times, so it's already on the list. I just change the number from however many I need to the new number that I need, Let's see here. I don't include hunting and fishing or food in my supply. Gotcha, Firelife. Gotcha. Let's see. All right, so I think we're up to date on the chat right now. We're making pretty good time here. Let's see here. So if you did, what food items did you not have enough of? That's a hard question right there. Let's change that. Let's change that one to frickin'. Oh no. Why is my highlighter not working? I don't it's kind of like doing what it wants to do. If you did use your food storage in the last 12 months, what food items did you not have enough of? Put that in the chat. I think that's safe. Was there anything you didn't eat, didn't know how to cook, or didn't like? No, let's just stick to, if you did, what food items did you not have enough of? And now I'm going to drink some coffee. You know what I need? I need the theme for Jeopardy that I can play while you guys do this. I bet I can get it on my phone. You guys can hear it. Where are we at here? My phone is acting really weird. Theme from Jeopardy. That's not it. That is not it. That is not it. My God. Guys, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to ask this question here in a second as soon as I get this thing to play right. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to check it. Firelife says, I need more flour, sugar, and rice. Yeah. The flour, that's a 6-month rotational. Sugar and rice is good for a long damn time. Let's see. Condiments and my own canned meat. Gotcha. Dipped into the pantry for canned chicken and corn. Matter of fact, I need to eat my canned chicken. I mean, I know it's good to go, but I definitely do need to eat it because I forget it's in there, to be honest with you. And I've got nothing in the Rumble. I've got nothing in the Rumble. The Rumble people are slacking today. I know there's a bit of a delay. Let me see how bad the delay is. And I've got nothing in the Rumble. Okay, the delay is not that bad. So just quit your slacking, Rumble people. But yeah. You know, I hate to say it, but flour is one of the biggest things that people it's a bad prep. It's a good prep to have, but it's a bad prep to take care of because people don't use unless they bake a lot, people don't use a lot of flour. And in today's world where people are trying to lose weight and be healthy, you know, they just don't use flour very much. Now, if you do, you're good. We're good to go. It's good prep. I got nothing bad to say about it, you know. And but you know, the reality is that if you don't use it in about 6 months, it's not going to be very good, you know. I'm not going to say you can't eat it. I'm just going to say it's not going to be very good. Now, you know, there is some issues with what is it? It being inside of the number 10 cans. You can get it from some companies like that. But it tends to take on the smell and taste of the metal, even though those new cans have linings in them. So basically every 6 months, thank God it's not expensive, but every 6 months you should probably rotate or have a rotation plan for your flour, depending on how much you have, you know. Fire Life says vacuum seal everything in Mylar bags. Yeah. Well, I don't know about, so with flour, it's really not a big deal. It doesn't matter if you vacuum seal it, but you do need to try and get as much oxygen out of it as much of the oxygen out as possible, and that will make it last for a long damn time. Jelly says spices. Yeah, I'm a huge advocate of spices as well as sauces, and having the spices and oils to make sauces is very important. I think it's actually more important because, you know, I like just buying the sauces. I'll go to the store and buy like 4 or 5 different kind of sauces, just throw them in the pantry. That way, if I want to, you know, if I want to take that canned chicken and turn it into teriyaki, I've got some teriyaki sauce, you know. But I also think it's important too, because I think that your ability to make the sauces is more important than your ability to buy the sauces. Buying the sauces is convenient. They will last forever because of the way that they're packed. I won't say forever, but they'll last a good while. But having those dry ingredients, the oils, and obviously a little bit of water and sometimes different vinegars, you know, the ability to make certain vinegars. You see what I'm saying? That's really the magic for the sauces and the condiments and things like that, you know. I tell people learn to make butter, learn to make mayonnaise, guys. I love making my mayonnaise. Oh my God. But yeah. And I have to apologize to my the people that were commenting in the super secret chat because I had you covered. I did not see you there. So I apologize. Where are we? I just moved the wrong chat. That is not there. That is there. There we go. Okay. So, doesn't want this message. I think Rumble doesn't want to. I don't see this problem with Rumble you guys are talking about. I'm watching Rumble right now and it's live and operating really good. Let's see here. So, liquid oils dipped into the pantry for canned chicken and corn. Canned tuna, didn't have enough canned tuna. Canned tomatoes, spices here too. Growing more and learning how to forage for local herbs. I love it. Yeah, I'm a huge advocate of growing spices and growing herbs because they like to thrive. They're normally, especially if they're perennials, they normally thrive as long as you take care of them. You know, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. So, all right, let's see here. Let's see. Do you know how to use oxygen absorbers? We're gonna skim past that one. That's pretty generic here. Do you have? Oh, this is a hard one, guys. This is a hard one right here. We're gonna highlight that one. Do you have a regular system of adding to your food storage pantry each week or month? Remember, we just talked about how I created a checklist so that you can just like put it on a clipboard. You guys know I love my clipboards. You know, I take mine and I'll just hang it off of a shelf, and I'll get a ribbon or a piece of string and hang a pin on it just to make sure that I've got a pin right there all the time. Because, you know, you won't, when you're using a system like that, you will not, things will stop you from writing things down. That's what I'll tell you. And then one day you didn't write enough stuff down, and that's what happens. So, do you have a regular system of adding to your food storage pantry each week/month? Go ahead and answer that question. Hicktown Honey says yes. She also says, we have very little flour. We don't eat flour items. Yeah. One of the things that's been on my, if you guys don't know, I keep a whiteboard right above my computer screen so that I stare at all the time that tells me what I need to be doing. Or anything that I want to remember, you know, that, you know, like for instance, I want to do a test. I want to get my hands on a CPAP machine and do a test of one of those back there because somebody asked me to do it. So I'm curious as to how long that thing can run a CPAP machine. Are you actually adding food store, you know, do you have a system? You know what I'm saying? BK says yes. Hicktown Honey says yes. I'm not getting anything off the other chats right now. Let me check the super secret chat. Yes, but I need to do it again. I have grown so much since then. Water contamination. I don't know what that means, Tina. I don't know what that means. Yes, each week buy two, use one. Oh, I see. Okay, so you're in the process. You're just building the preps. I got you. Okay, that's good. That's right there. It's like that's my 6-can plan that I used to start prepping with. Every time I would go to the store in the beginning, it didn't matter if I was going in for diapers. It didn't matter if I was going in to get a Red Bull. I would buy 6 of something, 6 of some kind of preparedness, 6 cans of vegetables, or 6 containers of ramen noodles, or 6 of something. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't have to be all the same thing. But what I found was after about a month of doing this, one, I found out I go to the store way too much. 2, I found out I didn't have shit for preps. And 3, I found out that at the end of that month, I had actually a lot of canned goods. So I use that as my system to build. So I think yours works, you know, yes. So basically buy 2, use 1. So you always have that one prep. I think that's awesome. Let's see here. Brian says, I've been trying to reach out for help in getting a battery backup for my CPAP. I can't seem to find any help out there. Being on disability, I don't get much to get one. Let's see here. Hicktown Honey says, I do that with Amazon. Anytime I place an order on Amazon, I always buy something from my preps list. That's a great idea, Hicktown. Brian, back to you. Like I said, maybe I'll do a short video on running a CPAP machine with that one right there. I think that's the 240. Yeah, that's the 240, because I use the hell out of those things. When I'm camping, those things are awesome. When I'm camping, I use one of those to run my mini fridge, and my mini fridge isn't this little bitty thing. It's like, boom. I think it's like 20 cubic inches or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the measurements on it, but it's the size of a cooler. It's good size. And so I'll use that to run one of my run the cooler while I have another one being charged on the solar panel, and then at night I flip-flop them. and then that one will make it through the night. They have a lot of juice. I'm very satisfied with the Jackeries. Let's see here. Haley says yes, they have a plan to rotate. Good, but to maintain the supplies. Okay, so guys, I'm here to tell you we did not get through. We did not get anywhere near through getting through this checklist. Okay, guys, as you can see, I'm scrolling. There's a lot of scrolling going on there. Let's go ahead and I need to get to the appropriate page. We're going to turn that off. Okay, guys. So yeah. And this was actually one of the preparedness assessment is offered to all of the Patreons. So if you're not a Patreon, now you have a reason to be one. Do me a favor, check out one of the links in my description. That'll basically support the page. You support the work that is being done. You support the channel. You support the YouTube, the Rumbles. You support these live streams. You support all the other videos. But what you really are supporting is things like this, because sitting down, writing something like this takes a lot of time. That's what you're really paying for. It's $3 a month. I think you can handle it. Let's see here. If you'd like to support the channel in any other ways, find a link. I'm sure you need something for your preparedness journey that you don't have yet, and I probably have it for you. Check out the links. You will see that pretty much everything is covered. If not, let me know, and I'll find something that actually works for you. All right, so we've reached our 1 hour, and yeah, it's been a pretty good Wednesday. If you've noticed, I've been on vacation and haven't watched the news, so I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty chill. All right, guys, I have a lot of work to do today. Thanks for hanging out with me. Cheers, LP. Take care. No problem, Jelly. And as usual, Patrons, you'll see me on the inside. All right, guys, until the next time, stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you.